You've probably tried cold calling, Facebook messaging, maybe DMing random people on Instagram, sending out postcards, door knocking, the whole slew of marketing tactics that you've either read about or you've learned about online, but at the end of the day, it's really just getting you nowhere. And this could be completely demoralizing simply because you potentially went all in on pivoting your career to real estate, and if it doesn't pan out for you, well, let's just say you don't want to be working a 9-to-5 job at the end of the day. But what if I told you that these tactics actually work and the problem is really in your strategy on implementing them? You see, there's a sequence to this. And that's actually the topic of today's conversation. Emmanuel here, founder and brand strategist over at Square One Group, where our goal is really to help real estate agents just like yourself build a unique brand online. And the topic for today's video is all about bridging the gap between the tactics that you've been implementing and really that missing piece to make them work. Look, at the end of the day, it's called the sales funnel, and this video is all about breaking it down, so let's go. By watching this video, I am positive it is gonna unlock the cheat code to a lot of your success in your real estate career. I first wanna start off by painting a really big high-level picture for you. All right, now by nature, the average consumer, they're actually pretty smart when it comes to where they want to spend their money, and they should not be underestimated. I mean, think about it. When was the last big purchase that you had, my friend? How much research did you do before making that purchase decision? How much effort went into actually, understanding what you were purchasing before actually making the purchase? Let me give you another really vivid picture. Let's say that you're buying a car. First, you're gonna have to realize that you need a car before actually making the purchase for it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't need a car, you're not gonna buy it. So you have to realize you need it first. And then from there, you're going to want to find a brand of car that you like. One that seems really trustworthy and reliable. And after identifying that brand, then you're gonna have to pick the model, one that really fits your needs and potentially your budget. And then from there, you're likely gonna have to speak to a sales rep or watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos to truly educate yourself on this particular vehicle before actually purchasing. And then after that whole process, you then make the purchase. You see, there is a sequence to this, and like it or not, we all go through this exact same sequence. It's really how we base our decision making when we're making a purchase. And like it or not, every successful company, heck, every successful realtor out there has a sequence very similar to what I alluded to that has already been mapped out and orchestrated. And that sequence, my friends, is called the sales funnel. Now, let me bring this whole story really back in full circle. You see, the reason your marketing strategies for your lead gen or lead nurture aren't necessarily working are simply because you haven't been able to identify or meet the requirements to build your sales funnel sequence. So now let me hop into my iPad and really break this down a little bit more for you, shall we? Okay, so what you're seeing on my screen here right now is a visual representation of the sales funnel. Now, the top part right here is called the top of funnel. The middle part right here is called the middle of funnel. The bottom part right here is called the bottom of funnel. And then of course we have the win. The win is essentially converting a lead or prospect into a client so then you can represent them in a real estate transaction. Now, another way that you probably heard about the sales funnel is through these terms, which is the cold lead right here at the top. Then at the middle of the funnel, you have the warm lead. And then at the bottom of the funnel, you have the hot lead. And then of course you have, the client at the very bottom of the funnel. Now, there are a few things I need to help you understand about the sales funnel. Your leads or prospects need to be categorized within the sales funnel because depending on where they are, they need to receive a very specific message from you. You see, the top of the funnel, it's all about building awareness. The idea here is that you have to be able to identify a problem that a lead is facing and then talk about it. Then position yourself as the solution to their problem. And then at the middle of the funnel, it's all about expressing your beliefs and principles to solving their particular problem. And really, if you've done a good job really articulating your way of solving their problem, then the last step about this, the bottom of funnel, is all about building trust. Now, the goal here should not be to try to capture a brand new lead at the top of the funnel and immediately try to really convert them or get a sale. Instead, what you should be trying to do is after capturing that lead at the top of the funnel is really moving them down the funnel into the middle of the funnel. And then from there, moving them into the bottom of funnel. And then from there, eventually converting that lead or prospect into your client. All right, I hope this is making some very rudimentary sense to you. Now, there's one principle that I want to make sure that you understand and that you adopt. I'm going to drop it on the screen now. And that is clients are friends and friends are clients. All right, let me explain exactly what I mean by that. All right, here's another interesting way to really look at or label the sales funnel. I'm gonna start at the bottom this time. You see, at the bottom of the funnel, you have the hot prospect. Another way to really think about who the hot prospect is as a person is essentially a friend or family. Now, above the warm prospect, you essentially have another type of person. And the way that we can really associate or put a label on this person is really by labeling them as an acquaintance. Now, we label them as an acquaintance because really the way that you could think of this type of person is that they're maybe a friend or a friend, or contextually, they're likely someone that was referred to you, and then your job in this particular part of the funnel is that you have to build rapport. You really need to educate this person on who you are and what you do, and then over time, that will essentially build the trust and really move them into the bottom of the funnel and turn this acquaintance into a friend. And then lastly, we have the top, the cold leads. And the way that you think of this type of person or these types of people is that they are complete strangers. They don't know who you are or what you do, but chances are you got on the radar because maybe a Facebook ad or a Zillow ad or a social media post or maybe a postcard. And you said something that really resonated with them and it piqued their interest and they essentially just really wanted to learn more. And then really at the end of the day, your job at the top of the funnel is really to identify their problem clearly and position yourself as the problem solver. And then from there, they're gonna wanna learn more and essentially really your job is really to move them down the funnel and really turn that complete stranger into an acquaintance. Okay, one final thing to note here, and that is this one outstanding variable that is often not talked about enough, and that variable is time. So check this out. You see, at the bottom of the sales funnel, this person is probably already a friend. So really trying to convert this friend into a client, it's more of a formality. And when you're talking about hot leads and converting hot leads, typically the timeline to convert a hot lead is really days to weeks. And at the middle of funnel, when you're trying to really nurture an acquaintance and really turn them into a quote unquote friend, that process actually takes quite a bit longer. And if we're looking at it contextually in terms of a timeline, the process of converting acquaintance, it's really more like weeks to months. And then at the top of the funnel, this is where it takes the longest time to convert them. So typically at the top of the funnel, you're really looking at months to years. And actually, there was a study that was done by Realtor.com with regards to the sales funnel. And the fact of the matter is, at the top of the funnel, if it's a complete stranger, a complete cold lead, what they actually allude to is that it takes between a minimum of 13 to 15 months to really build the awareness and nurture a completely cold prospect and then move them down into the middle of the funnel. All right, now based on that specific stat right there, some real talk for you. If you think that you can get brand new clients that are complete strangers into your funnel and convert them into a client from doing 1 month of advertising or maybe 2 months of advertising, then I need to break that belief now. I need to reset that expectation for you. And it's simply just based on the data. It takes longer to nurture a complete stranger than it does to really nurture and convert a friend. Long story short, if you've only spent a few months to really dabble and acquire really top of funnel cold leads, then you have to understand that it's not enough time. You really have to play the long game on this. It's gonna take a year, maybe several years to really nurture that potential prospect or that lead and really turn them into a prospect and then move them down the funnel. And just a quick reminder, you have to remember at the end of the day, at the top of the funnel, you have to present a very specific message, which is all about building awareness. And after you've built that awareness, then it's all about your beliefs and principles. And that is single-handedly the only type of message that you need to be presenting to this group or category of people within your sales funnel. And then from there, it's all about really, at the end of the day, building trust, testimonials, social proof. Let people know that you can get them to their desired goal. Alrighty, I know I just dropped a ton of knowledge on you for this particular video, so I'm gonna end here for right now. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I'm gonna continue the conversation going into next month, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. That said, if you wanna dive deeper on this, then I highly recommend that you join our free Facebook group. I'm gonna leave the link to the Facebook group right in the description below. Go ahead and click. I hope to see you there. Aside from that, have a great day.